Bitcoin receiving not even a single baby bounce as it plunges lower than your parents' expectations and love for you. Is there one final Hail Mary left in the bag for the Bitcoin boys? Or will the baby bulls continue getting munched and crunched harder than your sister on a Saturday night? I'm your host, Magoo, and if you like losing money, then crypto is for you. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications so you never miss these webisodes. Make sure to drop your comment below to enter for the Ledger BTC competition. It's just $100 in Bitcoin. Also, never respond to scammers. It's just, or I only have one Instagram and one Twitter, and they're both below. And if you're interested in any deals, make sure to check out everything below. Let's get dumped on. Big. So after one of the dumpiest experiences that we've seen in so long, actually, let's take a look and see how much percent Bitcoin is down from these all-time highs. 50% from all-time highs, slashed right in half. Absolutely very, very big here. And for the past 2 weeks, we've been talking about 34, 35 as a quick wick zone, but guys, that has not happened. This is not a quick wick. This has been slow, and potentially some people would describe it as painful and boring, absolutely. But you see now so far we bounced right off 34K. As you can see, I mean, I wouldn't even call it a bounce, but it's above 34K. But actually, before we continue with Bitcoin, or with the charts here, Bitcoin falls to 36. This is already outdated. This was just published within the last 24 hours, but saying bulls need a Hail Mary to avoid a bear market here. With the price continuing to sell off and the knock-on effect even sharper with altcoins and DeFi, Bitcoin has sank to its lowest level in 6 months and makes a lot of people not optimistic about an immediate turnaround, which is very clear at this point. I don't think we'll be back at all-time highs by next week. I think that's pretty clear. But one thing important to note about this as well is that the bulls looking for a close basically have to get a weekly above 39. And what that would require is one of those bounces. Let's say we did bounce within the next 24 hours when we get this weekly candle, and we did get like a $5,000 pump to above 39. Okay, that's fine. That's good. That would be technically like that wick that I've been talking about. We would need that bounce like now. We need it like immediately. And we're just not getting it, obviously. And we've been seeing this slow bleed happen for a while, which makes me think that we're just not going to be getting that bounce within the next 24 hours, right? A close below, especially on the weekly, is a break in market structure, lower low, etc. Bears showing no mercy if that does happen. And that looks as though that's what's going to happen. And then also, you can see here, published today, just about 2 hours ago, tumbles almost 50% since record November high. It lost half of its value in the last 2 or 3 months. And partially, there are people talking about governments cracking down, right? Thursday reporting Russia's central bank considering banning crypto use and mining. Again, I don't think it's very important because, stuff like this happens all the time. And it's usually just talk, and they always reverse them anyway. Again, it's not even a news item. So, like, people in the comments saying, or I saw a few comments of basically saying, did you hear what Russia did? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, stuff like that happens all the time. It's not really that important, okay? And they go back on these things all the time. And then you could say the same thing about India when they banned it, but then they unbanned it. And then now they're considering banning it again, right? It's just, at this point, it's just not worth your time to wonder which country might ban and then unban cryptocurrency next. It literally is a non-event. It's literally just not even worth your time. And with Bitcoin sinking deeper and deeper into dumpage here, we get this weekly close in about 1 day and a couple of hours. By the time you're watching this, probably right around 1 day. And that is a bad looking weekly candle, right? Obviously, again, this can be turned around if we can get a roughly at this very second like $5,000 move minimum, but it just doesn't look super likely here because we've seen any real bounces yet, and that's really the key here. We do see like daily volume increasing, which is good, and it's something you can cement short-term bottoms. It's exactly what you're gonna look for, but really just nothing that significant. It is really just a confusing, slow bleed. And, one of the things too, if you want to argue that we're entering a bear market like we did at the very beginning of 2018, one of the things about that was that this was the very beginning of this, right? You see this massive blow off top, and then you see there were some pretty decent pumps for months and months and months until the volatility sank off or just died off. And then, we entered, had another massive pump, and then continued kind of bearishly for a while. One thing about that was there was massive pumps and dumps even in that bearish trend, even at the beginning of the bear market, during the entire bear market. But so far what we've seen over the past few months has been straight dumpage only, just absolute straight dumpage. And so again, the structure is very, very different. Again, that's one of the reasons I think people are right to criticize looking at past cycles, because there's only been a handful. It's not like we can go back and look at 30 market cycles for Bitcoin, because there's not that many. There's just not. So trying to analyze and extrapolate off of like, you know, a couple of bear markets, a couple of bull markets in a slightly 10-year plus market like Bitcoin is, then it's really just not super reliable and basically impossible to predict. And again, in my opinion, it's just as likely that we go to 20K that we go to 70 or 80K instead in that same time period. It literally is that unpredictable. Right now, though, what is clear is that we are still 100% in a dumpy trend. We're absolutely in a bear trend, and that has not changed for the past 3 months. And so far, there's been no signs still that is going to change yet. We have not seen a bounce yet, and we need to see something. So you guys new channel, make sure to like, subscribe, tune in to these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. That's why if you guys are interested in bonuses, make sure to check everything out below. Make sure to drop your comment below. Enjoy your weekend. Never respond to scammers. I have one Twitter, one Instagram. The rest are all fake accounts, so don't respond to them. And without any further ado, that's it for me.